Hi everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about some Canadian drugstore items by Annabelle. And this is part of their Spring 2017 launch, which I believe came out on January 6th. This is going to be my first time playing around with them, and I kind of just wanted to do like a try on, play around with the items and see what I thought about them. So the set I received comes with a whole bunch of eye products, as well as like an eyeshadow primer, some mascara, an eyeliner, and some brow gel. So we're gonna give these a try. I don't think you can get this set as a whole from the drugstore because this was a PR package, but you can get the items individually. All right, I'm gonna start out with the eye primer, but I'm gonna use a brush for it because my nails are getting kind of long and I don't really wanna jab my finger in the pot. And go straight in with the brush and put that directly on. It's fairly smooth. It's a little bit stiff because pots do tend to be a little bit stiffer than liquids, but it's smoothing on pretty nicely. Now, some of you may know that I struggle with eye primer and I usually find that one is not enough. This video won't be enough to find out if an eye primer will last me the entire day, but it should augment the color of the shadows I'm going to be using. All right, I'm gonna start building up my eyeshadow here, and I wanna start with this color right here as the transition shade. And I always use a fairly fat, fluffy brush for this, so I'm just gonna dip into the product and then go right through my crease. This is already, I can tell, a gorgeous color for this kind of transition shade. I like something on the warmer brown, kind of caramel tone, because I feel like it helps pull everything together. This was a step I used to skip in makeup all the time, and I could never figure out why my looks never looked as cohesive as everybody else's. It's because I wasn't adding in a transition shade. Okay, with the crease color in place, I'm going to be taking this kind of rose gold foiled almost looking shadow. Oh yeah, this is a lot creamier than I thought it was. That's just going straight on the lid. It is a rose gold, but there's almost like a mauve tone to it too. All right, now we'll see how this dries. If it starts to crease on me, then I'll set it with a powder, but for now I just want to see how it goes. Generally with cream eyeshadows, I tend to get like almost like crepe papery lids. I'm not seeing that yet, but it's not oh, actually, I was gonna say it's not dry because it still looked wet. It is actually already dry. All right, now I want to make this darker and more impactful. So I'm going to really darken up the outer corner, and I'm going to start using these darker shades in here. I want to kind of mimic the rose gold and go with a bit more of a coppery brown, and then we'll use probably this darker tone down here to give it more smoke. So that middle shade there, and pop that right in the outer corner. This is going to be pulled through my crease and then down to my eyelid, to my lash line. Yeah, this is layering really nicely. All right, to deepen out that outer corner, I'm going to be taking this shadow down here. It's more warmer than the one over here, so I want to stick with the warm tones. And these are quite pigmented, so I'm not needing a ton of product. Which, thinking about it, can be both good and bad. If you're used to pigment, that doesn't transfer as well to the lid. When you start using something that's super pigmented, you almost put way too much on your lid. All right, to highlight the brow bone, I'm going to be going between two shades. The white is quite shimmery and I don't want it to be overkill frosty, and this little slightly pink shade should tone down the white. Yep, that worked perfectly. And that's kind of like a basic idea for any eyeshadow palette. If you look at something and you're like, I don't see a shade that's going to work for me, try combining colors. Because for me, there is no like true brow bone shade in here, but I can mix colors to get to that point. All right, for the lower lash line, I'm gonna keep it fairly smoky, so I'm gonna go back in this warm copper shade and put that on my entire lower lash line. And then I'll darken out that outer corner with the same dark brown we used before. So just lightly in the outer corner. You just want to connect the top lash line to the bottom lash line. All right, and to highlight the inner corner, I am going to take that white and we're going to see how it goes. It's a bit stark, but I'm just gonna drag it into the cream shadow to make it meld better. You know, I'm not even sure if I mentioned what the palette was. This is the Annabelle Eye and Brow palette, so you can use these products on your brows as well. Just gonna use a bit of Bioderma to clean up any fallout. Don't be alarmed if you see fallout. I think it's completely normal with eyeshadow. I've also been told I apply eyeshadow very heavily, and that's why I had so much fallout. Okay, so I don't actually want to add too much to the eyes at this point because I think they're really, really nice. But I do have a skinny gel pencil eyeliner that I want to try. I'm going to keep it to the outer edge and try not to make it too dramatic. This also has an incredibly fine pointed tip. I think it said it was 1.5 millimeters, but you can't retract it. It only goes up, so don't swizzle it up too far. So I'm just adding that to the very outer corner. I lied, I'm already dragging it in. Before that sets, I'm just going to kind of smear it out with this brush. I want it to be soft and not harsh. My winged liners tend to be pretty harsh because I like that look, but I don't think it really works with this eyeshadow. Amazingly, the smudging of the liner actually didn't disrupt any of the other shadows. I was really worried about that, but everything's intact. All right, to finish out the eyes, I'm going to be applying the Full Blast Mascara by Annabelle, but I'm first curling my lashes because I'm not going to be applying any falsies. This looks like a fairly standard natural bristle brush. All right, I'm gonna go do the rest of my face. The Spring 2017 collection from Annabelle doesn't have any face products in it, but then I'll come back and we'll do my brows together. All right, rest of the face is on. Let's go in with brows. And I gotta say, I'm a little bit nervous about this because I don't really feel like any of these shades is going to work, but I could be wrong. Yeah, none of them look quite gray enough to me, but I'm gonna try going in with this color. Okay, it's not bad. The color match is a little bit warmer than what I normally go for. I do tend to pick more gray toned blondish shades. The only problem I'm really encountering is because I really lack much of a tail. It's not building enough on this side. This side's fine, but this one is not happening. The color match is definitely better than I thought it would be though. Okay, I need to rescue this eyebrow, so I'm just gonna go in with my usual NYX eyebrow pencil. If you're someone that has more brow hairs than I do, I can see how this powder would work, but for people with really sparse brows, powder sometimes just isn't enough to create texture on your eyebrows. All right, that's as good as my brows are gonna get. I've never been a master of brows anyway. I have no idea how people who do nice brows get such beautiful, clean lines. Anyway, I'm gonna give the brow gel a shot. This is their Brow Show Eyebrow Shaping Gel, and the color is light medium. Okay, it's adding less color than I thought it would, which is a relief because I thought it was gonna be too dark. All right, let's go over the products because obviously I have some impressions now. And this Annabelle Chrome, this is their Rose Gold Creamy Eyeshadow. This is beautiful. It is so, so stunning. This is not normally a color I reach for because I tend to find it quite bland, I guess. Like, it's not colorful, and as you are aware, I do tend to wear quite brightly colored eyeshadow. So reaching for this is not something that I would normally go for. Having said that, once I get it on my eyes, it's absolutely stunning. I love this pop of color there, and I like that it's not too bright of a rose gold. Like, it doesn't lean as almost amber copper as I've seen some rose golds. This has more of a little bit of a mauve undertone, and I think it really helps to play it up but understate it at the same time. I hope that makes sense. Regardless, it applied really evenly. It's dry to the touch. I'm not seeing any creasing, and it's been about, I think this video is taking me about 30 minutes to film, so it would have creased by now if it was going to. And it doesn't give me that crepe paper kind of lid look that I used to get with like the Maybelline color tattoos. Yeah, I didn't really like the way that made my eyelids look. This looks fantastic. So this chrome eyeshadow is a definite winner, but because it is more of a cream formula, make sure you really screw that shut. The eyeshadow palette is also an enormous winner. I think this is the best Annabelle eyeshadow palette that I've tried in recent memory. I cannot believe how smoothly these colors went on. I love this transition shade as well as all these smoke built into the outer corner. Absolutely stunning. And this is an eye and brow palette. I would use them all on my eyes just because I don't really want to use a powder on my brows. As you saw, the tone worked out okay for my eyebrows, but because I lack a lot of eyebrow, I need to build more texture and a powder just isn't enough for me in that area. That being said, as an eyeshadow palette, this one is an absolute winner. And there's no real name for it. It's just called the Eye and Brow Palette. I was hoping like an actual name. We don't have one. Sticking with brows, I have the Brow Show Eyebrow Shaping Gel, and this was the light medium color. It's okay. I'm not much of a brow gel person, so I don't really have anything to compare it to. The color did turn out to be better than I thought it was going to be. With any kind of medium tone brow gel, I'm always worried because I'm blonde, not everything tends to match me quite well, but my brows look okay, so I'm happy. And in feeling them too, you can feel a little bit of gel, but they don't feel like super crunchy or anything like that. As for the mascara, this is their Full Blast one. It's okay. In the end, I did find that the brush was a little bit too big for my eyes. I personally just tend to struggle with a bigger wand, and even though this one is not enormous, it's still bigger than what I would normally like to use, so. Mascara is so personal. I mean, I say this every time, but everyone's got such different tastes when it comes to mascara. I like a really wet formula with a small brush and plastic bristles. This is a medium-sized brush, natural fiber, and it's not as wet. So it's just not something that I would naturally gravitate towards. In the end, my lashes look fine. They look pretty good. They're not being weighed down, but I also didn't feel like it added a huge amount of volume that I would normally go for. And the last item we have is the Black Onyx Skinny Gel Eyeliner. Again, as I said, this is their 1.5 milliliter pencil, so it is so precise and so tiny, which I appreciate when I'm trying to work around my eyes. I am amazed at how much I like this because I'm not much of a pencil liner person. I just tend to prefer a liquid liner and a wing, but I'm feeling this liner. This like half line that's smudged out is beautiful. It adds dimension to the look without going excessively wing liner, as I tend to do. It smudged out really, really quickly without setting too fast, which I can appreciate because there's nothing worse than setting down your liner and then going to smudge it and it's stuck. Like it just dried too fast and now you're stuck with this blob. Not a problem with this one. It worked out really, really well. If you can't tell, I'm actually really impressed with this end result makeup. I think this is gorgeous. So there you have it. Those are my first impressions on some of the items from the Annabelle Spring 2017 collection. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Bye!